Hello guys. This is School Creator. What is this? Sorry. So today I'm gonna do my week 17 predictions. Hope you guys like it. So, yeah, I'm sorry I haven't made lots of videos recently. Uh, to be fair, this season has been insane. Last week had to be one of the greatest weeks in all of history. You had every single primetime game have some crazy stuff happening. In Thursday Night Football, that might be in the game of the week. I mean, the year. The Rams and Seahawks took each other on and both played absolutely phenomenal. To be fair, the Rams had the entire lead. They should have won that game. They were literally winning by 16 points when the Seahawks came back in their first trailing by 15 points in fourth quarter win in 173 games. And the Rams never lost the game until Amazon Prime jinxed it. All right, but and then we had the Chicago Bears and Packers game, which the Bears had a miraculous comeback win, and then in the Patriots Ravens game, Patriots had a miraculous comeback win, and then in the game on Monday night, that was the only different game because the 49ers got like 50 points and the Colts had only had 30, but Philip Rivers played excellent. That wasn't They weren't joking when they got him. All right, let's start with this week. The Cowboys at Commanders tomorrow on Christmas. Personally, this game really does not matter because both of these teams are already out for the playoffs and they both kind of suck. The Cowboys have had one of the saddest seasons. They started the season off with both of their wide receivers injured basically, and they came back and then had a long losing streak, and then they played the Cardinals to be their win. They lost to that, and then it was a bye week. They got all these defensive players, and the saddest part of all of this that week, a player that had possibly their best game ever on the Cardinals died. I'm not kidding you. It's a sad story. I won't tell about it. But uh, Marshawn Nealand, yeah, he died for a really sad story. But like what happened, and then they started winning every single game. They beat the Chiefs, Eagles, and the Raiders, and then played the Lions and lost to them. Like, and then it's just went downhill from here again. And now the Cowboys play the Commanders. Can they finally have a winning streak? I think they can take on the Commanders. The Commanders almost beat the Eagles though. But then without Jaden Daniels, Marcus Mariota was their backup quarterback this week, and in the halftime he got injured, ended up being their emergency quarterback, and everything was in their way, and it looked like it was just gonna be smooth sailing. They lost because that quarterback, really, that emergency quarterback sucked. And now, who's taking on the cake? The Cowboys, obviously. Commanders are here. Just I don't know what they had this season. Sorry, I'm not feeling my greatest, but I think the Cowboys do win this. Now the Lions and Vikings at U.S. Bank Stadium. What happened last time? The Vikings beat the Lions in a surprising game. Now, do the Lions come back and win this and maybe make it to the playoffs? They've had the saddest luck all season. I'm not kidding you. They probably had every single game they played in the bag. They should have. I don't know if they won that Steelers game. I mean, yeah, the last play was totally bananas, but they definitely did not get that in. But they lost. They were beating the Rams by like 14 points in the first half of the game before that, and the Rams came back and won. Yes, and then but now they're playing the Vikings. Who wins this game? I'm gonna go with the Lions. See, they're still in playoff contention. And this game really does not matter for the Vikings. I bet they're just gonna keep doing other stuff, trying to get their like. I just hope they're trying to get. I just wonder if they're just trying to let the Lions not make it to playoffs, so not to be, so they don't have to be the only team who didn't make it to the playoffs on their division. Well, I mean the NFC West is more prominent than this division, so I think the Lions are gonna win, but it's gonna be a crazy schedule upcoming. Broncos at Chiefs. the Chiefs had one of the saddest downfalls ever. Losing to the Super Bowl, had Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelce played like absolute crap at the beginning of the season. And then they started losing every single game. Patrick Mahomes tore his ACL, might be out for an entire year. Travis Kelce, I think he's gonna retire this season. They had their backup quarterback Gardner Minshew tore their ACL last week, and they're also gonna move to Kansas in 2031. The most boring state. It's so flat that a pancake is more unique in like I don't know the pancake a pancake is less flat than Kansas, and now you're telling me Kansas City is like this season's crazy. And the Broncos, on the other hand, lost to the Jaguars at home. They're excellent at home. How did they lose that? I'm gonna tell you something crazy. Trevor Lawrence finally looks good, and the Jaguars I think might actually have a huge chance of winning the Super Bowl. And that sounds something crazy because in the past couple years they've been horrible. 5 years ago, they were 1-15 one season. They had two first picks 2 seasons straight because they were the worst team in their leagues. I'm pretty sure. Now the Broncos play the Chiefs, and who wins this game? The Broncos definitely. The Chiefs, all they have is their emergency quarterback who lost to the Titans. The Titans, the worst team in the NFL. This season might be one of the craziest seasons ever. Like you have teams who were excellent last season look like I don't know. Wow, the wild card rematch. Texans at Chargers. Last time I think I made a video, the Texans were 3-5. Now look at them. They haven't lost a game since that. And now they're playing at the Chargers because they have the best defense in the league. It's at SoFi Stadium. That's great. Wait, come on. Now the Texans play the Chargers. And I don't know what this video has to do. Uh, there's Justin Herbert. But the Chargers are not the greatest, are not going to handle it well with the Texans. The Texans are have beaten teams that have literally like they've beaten really good teams like the Jaguars in a comeback, which I think when they beat the Jaguars in that comeback, that was the start of their their comeback season. Like when they were bad until that game, and now they're playing the Chargers, and like they've won 7 games straight, beating the Chiefs, the Titans, the Jaguars, the Bills. Like this might be one of the greatest. This might be a, this might be a great season, and now they play the Chargers. Who wins this game? It it's all Texans. It's all Texans. I'm going with the Texans here. Ravens at Packers. Wow. That game last week on Sunday was sad for the Ravens. They had it in the bag until the Patriots came back. Sorry. Now they play the Packers. And personally the Packers haven't been doing well too. They lost on a comeback game too, and Micah Parsons is out for the season. But then again, he's playing at the Pro Bowl. You know, weird thing, there's lots of really out for the season players that are playing and supposed to be in the Pro Bowl. But then again, that's in February, and lots of players got injured. And the Ravens are, and I think Lamar Jackson also got hurt in that game. So now that kind of proves who's actually going to win this game. And I think the Packers will have a game. But then again, their starting quarterback Jordan Love got injured too. So the Packers, I think I'm gonna go with them. If if Lamar Jackson does come back, I'll pick the Ravens. But for now, the Packers. Bucks at Dolphins. Wow, what a sad game against the Panthers. Funny thing, so this was on Saturday when I was playing like a I was on like a basketball team. I was coming back from the game, and we were going when I was going home. I went through Panther Stadium. The Buccaneers, like they were coming in from Tampa, and like it was like 5 buses of them, and the Buccaneers were just going to the Panther Stadium. I don't know why, but I mean, then again, Panther Stadium is the heart of Charlotte, even though it is literally literally everything past Panther Stadium There's no skyscrapers past Panther Stadium. But then again, that's just Charlotte. Um, the Buccaneers though, and the Dolphins came back. They were 2-7. Now they're what are they now? Like 6-9, 6-9. Oh, but then again, that horrible game with the Bengals. Tua is now the emergency quarterback. He's not playing for them anymore. That that rookie, the Texas rookie, I think Quinn Ewers is now the starting quarterback, and he played better than Tua, but they still got blown out by the Bengals. I do think the Buccaneers are gonna win this one, but trust me, this game is definitely like this game is really easy for them. I have a sore throat too. I hate this. Now they're playing the Patriots at the Jets. I don't need to say anything. So when the Patriots played the Bills in Week 15, they finally lost the game. Then had that comeback against the Ravens, and now they're playing the Jets. Do I need to say anything at this point? I think just look at the win loss record below the logos, and I think you can just know what I'm thinking about. Steelers and the Browns. Also, this is pretty obvious. Browns are not the greatest, and Steelers are looking like they're sealing their division. The Shitter Sanders finally is playing great. He's better than Dylan Gabriel, but he is so prominent. Like he is so bad against the secondary in the opposing teams. But then again, he played some pretty good games. I think he's gonna beat. I don't think he's gonna beat the Steelers, but then again, the Steelers are pretty good now. They were bad earlier this. They were good at the beginning of the season, bad in midseason. Now they're good again. And wow, I'm pretty sure the last time we saw this thing, the Colts were like 7-2. See this downfall. This downfall is sad. And the Jaguars have had a pretty great season. And so I'll tell you what everything happened. Indianapolis Colts in Week 14, Daniel Jones broke his Achilles, and they had to get some guy. And you know what they picked? 44-year-old Philip Rivers, and he played pretty well. And now he has to go home against the Jaguars. Personally, the Jaguars are literally have beaten the Broncos. They have beaten teams of like absolute, like they're incredible, and they still beat those teams. They beat the Chiefs before, but then the Chiefs haven't been good this season. They're gonna beat the Colts, and that's just a game that does not need to say anything about it. Saints and Titans. The Saints have had a crazy were like 2-10 a while ago. Now they have a 3-win streak. 3 wins. And wow, they beat the Panthers twice. Kind of disappoints me. And now they play the Titans. Personally, the Titans had a good game last week, but the Chiefs are not that good this season. So I think the Saints are gonna win this one. Trust me. You're gonna see a lot from Tyler Shug in the next few years. Seahawks and Panthers. This has to be my favorite. This has to be one of my favorite game this week. This game might just seem like nothing. It looks like so the Seahawks had a pretty crazy overtime comeback that beat the Rams 38-37. And now they play the Panthers in Charlotte. The Panthers are great at home. They beat the Rams. But you think that the Seahawks can just fly past them and win this. That's what lots of people think, but I, on the other hand, know something about the Panthers that nobody else does. The Panthers are a much better team than you think, and they're great at home. The Seahawks are great away, but the Panthers have beaten very good teams. Teams that are like at like the best in the NFL. They had their goals and then they beat them. And now the Seahawks take on the Panthers. And this just seems like a game that nobody thinks the Panthers could win this. The Panthers will definitely have a much better game than you think. And hey, listen, the Panthers are excellent at home, beating the Rams 31-28 at home without even the best defensive players. Was insane. Matthew Stafford had 2 interceptions, 1 pick six. I was at the game. How could you do that? How could you beat the Packers as well? How could you beat How could you beat the Buccaneers in a crazy comeback game win too? And then they still lose to the Saints. I've heard about this. The Panthers are good against really good teams, are like super competitive, and then they're bad against really bad teams. And that's why I think if what I hear, I think the Panthers are gonna beat the Seahawks. I think they're gonna win the division. And then the Seahawks might have to take them in the wild card out in Charlotte again. This is gonna be a crazy game, no matter what's the outcome. But I think really think the Panthers are gonna have a way better game than you think. I think they're gonna win this. Cincinnati Bengals. Finally, Joe Burrow is back. He was back a few weeks ago, but he had an outstanding game against the Dolphins after de- a depressing game against the Ravens being shut out. And then I had to play the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are a horrible team. And that's why I think the Bengals are going to win this easily. It's an easy game. The Cardinals literally will be bad against anybody. Don't worry. Now the Giants and the Raiders has to be the worst game of this entire season. So, as most people say, the Giants had a horrible downfall ever since the Cam Scatterboo injury. They had some really close games, like they should have beaten the Patriots, but they took away Younghoe Koo the second time he's been released. He deserved it. Did you see that one kick in the Patriots game? He literally was supposed to kick the ball. His feet did not touch the ball. It touched the turf. The turf without touching the ball at all. And now with that, the punter, I think that holds the ball, had to get crushed by the defense. And the Raiders. What is wrong with you guys? I thought that the Texans game, this was gonna be literally the only game in all time a team has scored negative points. They actually kept it really close. 21-23 against the best defense, having the worst offense. You know what? I'm gonna say it, though. Jackson Dart will win this. Finally, winning a game that he deserves. He hasn't had his best players in all season. This game will literally will not matter to them no matter what. And I think they're gonna win it. It's finally over. The Giants' pain and agony is over. This game's gonna be excellent. This game either is gonna be absolute dog crap or the game of the year. And trust me, I think it's gonna be the second one. The Eagles have had a crazy season. And losing to teams like the Cowboys and the Chargers. Did you see the Chargers game? So Jalen Hurts had 2 turnovers in one play. And he had 4 interceptions that night. What happened? He threw an interception to the Chargers. And then the Chargers dropped the ball. Then he got it back. Then he fumbled and the Chargers got it away. This is insane. The Eagles are not gonna beat the Bills. The Bills are playing their best game. They're better than the Patriots no matter what. Mark my words. I don't care what you say. Better than the Patriots no matter what. They have true talent. James Cook and Josh Allen all the way. I don't want to hear another word. Why not? Yeah, this week is gonna be crazy. Now the final 2 games. Wow. Can you believe it? Fortunately, this game isn't at Chicago, which would make the 49ers give it at least a chance. But the Bears, this is a game where the 49ers are going to be truly exposed. They had all their star players injured, and they still are having a great season. I'll tell you why. George Kittle and Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. The Bears, though, they played excellent against the Packers. Mark my words. And mark my words, this game will be the Bears winning it, no matter what. I don't want to hear it. If it is not Chicago, yes, definitely the Bears. But the 49ers have a chance per se, but the Bears have much more talent than the 49ers, are a much better team. Like, explain to me why not. And wow, the Rams that Atlanta. Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Personally, this game could really just be one of those stupid games. But the Rams played next against the Seahawks. Personally, the Rams played way better than the Seahawks, even though they really lost. Puka Nacua had a quarter of 1,000 yards in that game. Matthew Stafford had almost a half 1,000 this season for the Rams. This is unbelievable. Matthew Stafford is the oldest guy. This could be his last season. He's gonna be he has literally the highest chance of becoming the MVP. And I was playing the Falcons. I think this game could go be a little bit different. But the Falcons, they're not that great. Yes, they beat the Bucks. Yes, they eat the Cardinals, but I mean that's not impressive. But they lost to the Panthers twice. And the Rams lost to the Panthers, but that game was in the elements. The Falcons though play way. The Falcons though they don't have their star quarterback anymore. All they have is Bijan Robinson just to like help them, and the Rams D line is not gonna give him any second chances. Yeah, I might sound crazy, but yeah, I think this game is literally gonna be either, the easiest Rams win all season. I think I'm not picked the Rams to lose a game since the Eagles. And that's actually all I have to say. Uh thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys much later.